I must say I was a bit puzzled by your comment as well about the body's not real, the body's a thought. Because when you were saying it, I felt like, well, you're just pulling the rug out from underneath us, because at the beginning of each meditation you say, be in your body, this is all about the body.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're saying it's not real, so where do we take it from here? So do we distinguish between a relative reality and an absolute reality? Because, the question is, you're not saying that the body physically, or the physical reality of the body, and by extension the world around us and the whole universe, and all the beings and forms and forces within it do not exist?
It exists, but it is not real. It's not reality.
It's physical. When I cut myself, I bleed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is it too different? Well,
It's a really tricky thing, because the enlightenment, I would say, is the realization of death, the complete acceptance of your own mortality. But then there's a much deeper realization that comes after that. And when you realize that, suddenly you almost feel sort of immortal. It's this amazing feeling of, and the realization that no, this stuff isn't real. So you tend to retreat to a degree into the absolute. And it's probably the time that people spend a bit of time by themselves in silence, just establishing themselves in the absolute. But then there comes a deeper realization, which is the merging of the absolute and the relative, and the realization that the absolute contains the relative. And the absolute is relative, in a way. But it's something that you can only realize. It can't really be explained. And it brings the two together.
Do they coexist, or does only the absolute really exist?
The absolute does not need the relative, but the relative only exists in the absolute.
Because you also say, use your body, it's the closest. It can take you. So
it's the closest thing to reality in this existence.
So it's not, Yeah.
You believe you are this body. So what this practice is doing is using that belief to eventually realize that no, I'm not this body. But it's such a strong belief, thought, and a belief is just a thought, really.
I suppose what I would like reassurance around is, does my body actually exist? Do I die? Or do I live in the matrix?
Well, yeah, it exists. You walk around.
Thank God for that.
And it's why it's so important to become as grounded as possible in your body. Because once you realize this, it will ground that realization so you won't float away into some fairyland. And it will keep you stable within that realization. So yes, your body does exist, but it's not real. It's not reality.
Yeah. I think
it only exists because of reality.
Yes, so I can sort of relate that to what was said in what you read, the force beneath it. I can't remember the exact wording. I think he talked about that in the citation as well.
In the what?
In what you were reading out this morning. The underlying force, the reality that is
and it
real.
always is.
And it always is, and it drives everything. It's
Yeah.
the source of everything.
It's the source of everything.
Yeah,
So it's the source of your existence.
yeah.